Okay. Hello, everybody.
Oh, it's
First,
flat. Wow.
yeah. Hi, Paul. First, it's a friendly announcement. This is not an AA meeting. This is a questions and answers meeting with Paul. It's not a share meeting, though shares will be. It's a one member's view on exact nature of the wrong meeting, as described on page 64 of the big book. Can I read from a big book?
Yeah.
First, we searched out the
Oh,
flows.
tell us the page if you can.
The page 64.
All right. 60.
First, we searched out the flows in our makeup which caused our failure, being convinced that self, manifested in various ways, was what has defeated us. We considered its common manifestations. Resentment is the number one offender. It destroys more alcoholics than anything else. From it stem all forms of spiritual disease, for we have been not only mentally and physically ill, we have been spiritually sick. When the spiritual malady is overcome, we straighten our mentally and physically. In dealing with resentments, we set them on paper. We listed people, institutions, or principles with whom we were angry. We asked ourselves why we were angry. In most cases, it was found that our self-esteem, our pocketbooks, our ambitions, our personal relationships, including sex, were hurt or threatened. So we were burned up. To conclude that others were wrong was as far as most of us ever got. The usual outcome was that people continued to wrong us, and we stayed sore. Sometimes it was remorse and then we were sore at ourselves. But the more we fought and tried to have our own way, the worse matters got. As in war, the victor only seemed to win. Our moments of triumph were short-lived. If we were to leave, we had to be free of anger. The grouch and the brainstorm were not for us. They may be the dubious luxury of normal man, but for alcoholics, these things were poison. We turned back to the list, for it held the key to the future. We were prepared to look at it from an entirely different angle. We began to see that the world and its people really dominated us. In that state, the wrongdoing of others, fancied or real, had power to actually kill. How could we escape? We saw that these resentments must be mastered, but how? We couldn't wish them away any more than alcohol. This was our course. We realized that people who wronged us were perhaps spiritually sick, though we didn't like their symptoms and the way this disturbed us. They, like ourselves, were sick too. We asked God to help us show them the same tolerance, pity, and patience that we would cheerfully grant a sick friend. When a person offended, we said to ourselves, "This is a sick man. How can I be helpful to him? God, save me from being angry. Thy will be done."
Great. Thanks, Vlad. I think you were reading out of a different book than mine. We I missed some paragraphs.
Yeah, I was skipping some paragraphs to make it like a,
Yeah. I thought it was uh, like a Cliff's Note book. It was good. Yes.
I
Well,
highlighted some paragraphs to make it,
yeah,
yeah.
you did a great job. And if you just listen to it, it's we did exactly the same thing with our lives. We took sort of a business inventory. So they're trying to give us some distance from the personalness, yeah? So they present the inventory as a business-like inventory. And the inventory of a business would be probably a different experience for the owner and the manager, yeah? So if you were just representing the store, it wasn't yours, you would probably be a lot more truthful and fearless in your inventory, yeah, than the owner, because the owner has a vested interest. It's its store. It owns the store, yes? So its reaction to the mistake of buying 500 elephant bells would be different than the manager's reaction to the 500 elephant bells, yes? So they're trying to give us a sense of distance because the adhesion of the disease is it's you, yeah? How it sticks to us is that it's seen as us. To see it as something foreign to us, to me, is where the relief lies. Because the opposite effect is when you're taking it to be you. Yeah. Then basically, before you come into recovery, your main weapon is denial. You're completely out to lunch and you're not understanding what's going on. Yeah. So this is trying to present it as a business inventory. So let's say you're the manager of the store, you're not the owner of the store. So let's look at how everything went. And then it says, when you start doing this, this is an action observation. So you start the fourth step, and when they do, when they're searching out the flaws in our makeup, which caused our failure, they find the flaws in our makeup weren't from us. Yeah, they were from self. So, so to speak, it was our makeup, but what was expressing through our makeup wasn't us. It was from self. Yeah. So the nature of the disease is it is foreign to us. So it's manifesting through us, and in many of its manifestations, they appear to be flaws, FLAW, like defects of character, or they're producing effects that we wish they wouldn't. Yeah. So now we are being used for something else to express its manifestations. Yeah. For it to get into life or out into life, it has to come through someone, and it's coming through us. Yeah. So the parasitical movement takes you over and now expresses through you, and it has a great camouflage. You think it's you expressing. Yeah. And some of the shit seems unbearable and so crazy that the only solution is to deny, basically, and to look at others as the ones at fault because it's unbearable to sit there and really have an assessment of where you are. Yeah, you're fucked. Yes. So what keeps it going, like you can meet someone, and if you came out of alcoholism, you can pretty much tell they're an alcoholic in 5 minutes. That person, it may take 30 years for them to get it. Yeah. You know? So the takeover can't disguise it from others, but it disguises it from you and me. It can't disguise it from others. Others that have been through it know you're a fucked, know you're an addict, know you're an alcoholic, but you don't. So it's playing God has a very small theater. Yeah. It's not playing God on everyone. Yeah. It's playing God in you. Yeah. It's a very small theater of God playing, and you're getting played. Yeah. You are. We are. And so they're trying, this is the first action step to see what's going on. So we're going to do an inventory. And we start out, let's say, as our flaws, but we hope that it's going to lead to see that they're not yours. Because if everything that has defeated you is yours, you've defeated you. Yeah. If the logic is everything that has defeated you is you, you have defeated you. That's a conundrum. That's a very bad situation. Yes. But you can tell the truth about the defeat because it isn't you that did it. This is the good news. Yeah. When you believe you did it, you don't want to look at it. Yes. You want to blame others, deny it, distract yourself. Yeah. This is the modus operandi of the head. But when a little shift from owner to manager happens, suddenly you can do a fearless inventory on the saleable or unsaleable goods in your life. Yeah? Yeah. And because you didn't make the elephant bells, maybe you can send them back to what made them. You don't have to wear elephant bells to validate your savvy of fashion trends. Yeah, you can get rid of the ones that you think you have to wear. So this is the view that we stand on here. Yeah. Like it or not, this is the view that we stand on. We stand on the view that what has defeated us is foreign to us. And if you can see it as foreign to you, you can also see that you can be free from it. If you don't see it as foreign to you, you're trying to be free as it. And good luck. That's the dilemma of self can't get out of self. Yeah. So the bondage of self is the act of being identified as self. Yeah. What is that? Self is the doer, the thinker, the feeler, the taster, the toucher. So no matter what thought is noticed, it came from you, which is ridiculous. If you look at how people have been driven by thought and they share about them at meetings, they sure sound like your thoughts, don't they? Because they're not your thoughts. They're alcoholic thoughts. Yes? It's and I feel before you go ahead, you might as well get clear about the exact nature of the wrong. Yeah. It's brought the most stabilizing relief since I've been in recovery. Yeah. It happened around 6 or 7 years I was in. It dawned on me, and it was exactly like that. I didn't come to the conclusion, I was brought to the conclusion that self is foreign to me. Yeah. And you know what happened? I started to lose interest in it. Yeah. Not as Paul, I just started losing interest. And then the thoughts that used to ruin my day when they were preceded by the word my weren't ruining my day anymore because I didn't see them as my thoughts. Yeah. There's a huge difference between a thought and your thought. You're usually listening to your thoughts. You may be hearing thoughts, but if they're yours, you're listening to them. You're taking orders. You are. You're being directed. That's how self directs you. It does. It directs you mostly through thoughts. Yeah. And what are those thoughts? The, the power of the thought doesn't come from the thought, it comes from the mind. It's our power that is defeating us. Yeah. Our power used by something else that is playing God is what has defeated us. Our power. Yeah. That's why we're in a dilemma of powerlessness. Yeah. We have a sense that we have power, but we can't seem to access it because something else has jacked into it and it's sucking all the power out. And it's talking to you as you, and you're basically pretty much following it as a guide. Yeah. You'll be in AA meeting. It tells you you won't be next week. Yeah. So you're in the meeting, the sobriety is there, the sense of presence is there. It's unbearable to the parasite, but it says there, well, I won't be here next week. I'm definitely not coming back. And if you're listening to it as you probably won't come back. And then you're really fucked. Yeah. This is what happens. It plays out in a finite way. You can recognize how self has defeated us. It hasn't had a multitudinous of infinite traits. It defeats us in basically the same manner. Yeah. It presents something as true that isn't. You have a reaction to it, you make a decision about it from self, and it sets off consequences that you feel you don't deserve. but that means you deserve to get high or to drink or to take something for someone else. Yes? And there you go. You're on the carousel. And you don't, and you know there's no gold ring, and yet you're still fucking grabbing for something. Yes? It's spiritless servility to an amusement park of the mind that isn't that amusing to you and us. Yeah? It isn't. And it goes round and round and round and round and round. Yeah? Yeah. You're glued to the horse. You can't get off because you're identified as it. Yes? Yeah. How are you going to get out of you? I've shot coke in my neck to get out of you as a you. Didn't work. There's always going to be an umbilical cord. And if you continue to live, you're going to get pulled back into this idea of self. Yes? You will. You cannot get out of it as it. You can't. Yeah? You cannot get out of self as self. You cannot do it. It can't get that. It just keeps on trying. Yeah. The same way I tried with Coke, I tried with spiritual practices. Yeah. Or now ceremonies and other things. Yeah. It was the same drive, a drive to want to get out of me, unfortunately, as me. It can't work. Yes. You know how fucking surprised and pissed off I was when I came out of an overdose and the cops were in the fucking room and I was driven to the hospital like every other fucking time? Yeah. The escape failed once again. Now I had more freaking court cases. Yes. A week or two later, it seemed like a good idea again. Do it. But very similar results. Same fucking scenario when I came out of it from with Narcan. Police were in the room. Same fucking thing. Paramedics. Went to another hospital. Yeah. Left. I'm never going to do this again. A week or two later, same fucking scenario. Yeah. It wasn't funny living it, but it's funny now that I've survived it. Yeah. I was in spiritless servility. I was enslaved to the master of the head. Yeah. The only guidance I took was from the head, and it guided me very, very unwell. Yeah. And I had to be institutionalized to get a break. For my life to work out there, I had to be intervened upon and I had to be put in an institution to have the institution between me and me. Yeah. And in those settings, I could thrive, but I could not leave those settings. As soon as I left the institutional setting, I was a goner in a week or two. Yeah. Because the head started chirping, brought out my spiritless servility to it, and there I went. Yeah. Yeah. Do you think it's ever going to be different? It's going to be different, but it's going to be on the worst side. It's not going to be different the way you think. It's going to be different. You won't believe how low it can go. You really won't. Yeah. It brings you to that pitiful, incomprehensible demoralization. And uh, that's an experience that has been shared by many of us that most people in life never get to. Yeah. Not where I live in this area. A lot of well-off people. But to be brought to a pitiful, incomprehensible demoralization is one of the great wonders of a parasitical takeover. uh, 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 the great news is you're not that. Yeah. And really, that's that. And you're going to do an inventory on its manifestations in your life, very distinctly different. Yeah. And you're going to recognize after you've taken responsibility for your role in things, you're going to return to see your role in things, and you're going to see self's role in things. Yeah. And you're going to realize self's role in things was much larger than your role in things. Truly. Yeah. Much larger. And if you do other inventories with people as a fifth step, you will hear a life run on self. You will. It's not Matthew's life or Bill's life. It's a life run on self. It sounds very familiar to my life when I hear them share. Yeah. Even though I don't think I look like them, I don't dress like them, I don't come from the same upbringing, but what took them over is exactly what took me over. And when they describe what it's like, there's a connection. Yeah. Because I know what it's like. Yeah. Now, it may have been done in Oklahoma to them, and to me, it was in New York, but what was done was the same. Yeah. Yeah. Get it. See, if you've been defeated by thoughts and they've been defeated by thoughts, and you ask you what those thoughts were, and you say mine, and you ask them what the thoughts were, and they say mine, you have now seen the real culprit, which is mine. Yeah. The my of the thoughts is what has defeated us. Yes. This is what we share because I noticed in my community that somehow we were not getting it. People went in and did an inventory about their resentments, their fear, their harming other people in the pursuit of what they want, and they left the inventory with their resentments, their fears. I don't believe the inventory is about your fear. I believe the inventory is about fear. I believe the inventory is not about your resentment. I believe it's about resentment. Yeah. I believe it's not about all the shit you did. It's about what causes us to do the same shit as alcoholics and addicts. Yeah. So we can recognize that something has defeated us and its nature is foreign to us. Yes. Like a 30-year flu. It's still a flu. Yeah. No matter how long it occupies you, it never becomes you. There's a distinct difference between you and what has defeated you. No matter how badly you have been defeated, there's still that distinction that you and what has defeated you are not the same. Please, please, you know, whatever can trigger this possibility in you can open up to a big download of grace, really, really. So lots of us are in a program to be free from the bondage of self, and we're trying to be free as the self that we're bonded to. Yeah, it's a mistake, and it's a costly one. Yeah, easily remedied because you're not it. This isn't like I got to fake it till I make it that I'm not it. You're not it. You are not what has defeated you. Alcoholism is a parasitical event that feeds off the host. Yeah. To alcoholism, to see the host as the dominant situation is a mistake. You have to see the alcoholism. Yeah. And then the host can get free from the effects of the alcoholism and maybe live like a host, let's say. But if the host is walking around thinking it's a host and it has untreated alcoholism, it's not. It's pure alcoholic. The parasite has it. It's like a puppet. It's moving it. It does the same thing alcoholics does. It thinks the same way. It feels the same shit. It's got grievances. Can't see its role in things. It's the same puppet show. Yeah, yeah. There is a solution. And I think the solution combined with a clarity about the exact nature of the wrong goes a long, long way. to opening up a lot of doors. I do. Because this is what I've gone through. I've experienced it. Now I'm like in the 37th year of sobriety. And our inherent awakeness is here, and I can see what's going on. That's, yeah. And by that sight, I can see what was once going on. I, I can see what happened in a sense. And I'm here to share it so that there'll be a possibility it won't continue to keep happening to you, literally. Yeah, because you and self are different. They talk about our actor. Let's call that self. So our actor in this, so that doesn't mean we are the actor, but we can have an actor. And that actor has taken over the role of being us, literally. And we have lost our nature and we've taken upon the actor's nature. And the actor can be kind and generous while being incredibly self-centered. It can be this and that, and all this shit can go on. Read it. It's right in the book about the actor. Well, we would like to have a little distinction between the actor and us, wouldn't we? Yeah. Yeah. So in the play of life, the actor gets its comeuppance and it makes its amends and shit like that. Yes, that's what the actor has to do. But you, as what you are, don't walk around with regret for 30 years because you're super clear you are not the one you did not compel yourself to do all the shit that happened. You had been taken over, yes? And then you can truly not regret the past and truly not shut the door on it because it's really not your past. It's mostly self's past, isn't it? If you're telling the truth, it's mostly self's past. Yeah, let it have the past. Yeah, yeah. So great reading. Obviously this is a pivotal chapter, how it works, because part of how it works is to see how the self works. Seriously, yeah. How it works has a component of how does that you see how self works. Yeah. And instead of self-knowledge availing you nothing, knowledge of self will become quite valuable because you'll recognize it before it takes complete form, and you can bring its little when it's starting to coagulate, bring it to step 6 and 7 and have it reversed. Yeah. Basically, not only reclaiming your back life, but getting it back and by recycling. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's nice to be able to enjoy peace of mind. It is. It's a truly great, it's a beautiful gift to be able to enjoy peace of mind. It's incredible to know serenity and understand the word peace. It is. It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's incredible where you start is not agitation. Yeah. Though there's agitation happening, but at least what the underlying condition is not agitated. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the attempt. We're like a pit bull about it. Yeah. If I saw everyone happy, joyous, and free, these things would stop, these talks. Yeah. Great. But I don't. I see people uh, every time they share how great it is, they always bookend it with, but I'm still fucked or whatever. And it's just really getting tired of it all. So, yeah. 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 No matter how great it is today, I have to remember what I did in the past. No, I don't believe you did it. I believe you were driven. And the book implies it. The book where it says you were driven by 100 forms of something. Yeah, that doesn't sound like you're the driver. Yeah. The head mixes us up. The head comments on the driven and then blames you as the driver when it's been the driver the whole time. So really, the prison system is wrong. The prison system has all the cars in, like a giant uh, institution of garages. All the cars are in prison because of what the driver did. It seems insane. And then the cars get together and talk about the cars. You got to talk about the driver and get a clarity because there's only going to be two drivers. It's either self or higher power in the view of recovery. Yeah. Either there's faith in the finite self, which got you in jail as a car, or there's faith in the infinite, which allows you to take a drive today without a siren coming up and lights in the behind you. Yeah. The car still reacts when I see a cop. I got a sense of a cop. I usually pick them up in about a mile or two before I see them. But sometimes I'm engaged in what's going on. I'm talking with Amelia, and there's a cop, but I'm quick because I lived under that constant anxiety because I was basically doing something illegal or something was going on. People who have they have the thing, the highlights of their life, like getting married and their first child. I would have the highlights with sirens, sirens and lights. New York has different sirens than in California. The police, they do. They're all like different bird calls you get very familiar with when you're in this lifestyle. Even that gets changed over time, really. It does. Every time I used to travel, I swear to God, when I was walking through customs, I thought they were looking at the Interpol page and I was going to get arrested. Even though I hadn't done anything for years, the body had a trauma that like a situation would like put a quarter in that massage bed and it would just vibrate. Yeah, it was just wild. And even that chilled out after time. It's pretty cool. Yeah. All right. Any questions or something? Let me say one thing in this sentence. This is English. So we're looking at the inventory and what happens. Being convinced, this is the effect of looking at the inventory while you're doing it. Being convinced, and one definition is to believe with certainty, convinced. Yeah. So being convinced that self, and they make sure they use a small s. Yeah. 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 That self manifested in various ways. All right. So self, and then its action or activity manifested in various ways. Yeah. Is what has defeated us. Okay. That's the point of clarity. Self manifested in various ways is what has defeated us. It also is what will defeat us. Yeah. Yeah. So was what had defeated us. Being convinced of this, we considered its common manifestations. We, something other than self, consider it, meaning self. Yeah. So we, not as it, look at its common manifestations. Where? In our life. Yeah. So it has manifested in our life. So we, as the us, is going to look at the manifestations of self in our lives. We're not self. Yeah. This is what's been missed, I feel, quite a lot. We're doing an inventory on what has defeated us. It's not us. Yeah. It may be our inventory, but what we're inventorying is not us. Yeah. It may be our inventory. I hope so, because that would be us. But what we're inventorying is the manifestations of self in our life. Plain and simple, right in the book. This is not new aging it. This is not mixing it with anything. They may not have even know how clear it was when this was coming through, but it's super freaking clear that what has defeated us is not us. Yeah. But how do many of us that are being defeated by it live as if it's us? Yes. How do you live while you're being defeated by it as it? You're living as if it's us. This is the big mistake. This is the bondage of self. Yeah. And it can continue even when we get recovered from alcohol, the drinking and everything. We're still not recovered from the story of self as being, I did all the shit that self compelled me to do. I forget that self compelled me to do it, and I blame me for all the shit that happened. This is a mistake to me, a huge mistake. Yeah, it can be corrected easily. Being convinced that self manifested in various ways was what had defeated us. Bammo. Please be convinced of this. We considered its common manifestations. The next paragraph is resentment. It doesn't say our resentments, it says resentment. Resentment is the number one offender. How is it really offending us? Is when it's called my resentment. Yes? If you saw resentment like an animal and you saw it in the wild, you'd only get a glimpse of it for a minute or two because it usually runs off. Like, so you usually get angry or something. And if you don't act on it, it doesn't, it sometimes, most of the time dissipates. You get angry with something else quickly. Yeah. So it scurries. But now you've captured it and you by calling it yours, and now it's domesticated. And now you're grooming it, you're giving it food and everything, and it's festering in you. Yeah. And it's turning into a state of grievance, so to speak. Yeah. And it gets bigger and bigger. And more shit triggers a refeeling of the big resentment, whatever it is. My mother didn't love me or something like that. Yes. And on it goes. All the while piling up the power because it's playing God to defeat us. And so it does. Yeah. And it defeats us through these manifestations of resentment. And second is fear, very clearly explained as a result of self-reliance on page 67, when it says, why, why, why are we in so much fear today with like a question mark? Isn't it because self-reliance has failed us? They just gave you the diagnosis from the book. Yeah. Most people believe fear is a cause in their life, but recovery believes fear is an effect of self-reliance. Yeah. So we're relying on that which has defeated us, hoping for to not be defeated is ridiculous. Yeah. It will defeat you and again and again and again. Yeah. So we look at the common manifestations, and now we've done the inventory. In a way. We have now seen the common manifestations in our life of self and how they have defeated us. And we now ask a power greater than self, yes? Because we need an intermediary. The us is in a state of powerlessness. It's a dilemma. And so our solution is to find a higher power that can neutralize the playing God of self, yes? So the access of the power that we represent won't be siphoned off into self, but will be given over to the higher power. You will turn over your will and life over to the care of the higher power. And by that decision and these actions, the shift occurs. And that shift, when it occurs sufficiently, it's called the spiritual awakening. So now a new basis of life has been cemented. You have a new attitude, a new outlook, a new, uh, freedom and a new happiness. And there you go. Yeah. And then, like they talk about the problem progresses, I believe the solution progresses. And I believe the solution is much faster than the problem can ever be because it's of light, yeah, light of spirit. So, um, luckily, if you get into the habit of being sober, the rest of your life, that weather front isn't going to dominate any one of your days. And again, yes, it's not going to ruin a sunny day by its constant forecast. There's a storm coming. You won't live in fucking anxiety and fear. You will live in the moment, so to speak. Yes? Yes. Which is the only place you've lived ever, actually. So I think you're inherently awake and you'll now live that. You'll be in what they call the here and now because you can't be anywhere else. Yeah, there you go. See what happens. But I humbly feel that most of us, uh, the dream I have here is for this message to get standardized in the recovery world. That's really what I'd like to see. So that when you get a feeling like something is taking you over or you've been possessed, that there'll be something that will support that investigation. Really. Because didn't you feel like that a lot of times? You felt like something has me. Something is fucking, using me for transportation. You were correct. That was the correct assessment. But this idea of I, me, my is so fucking prevalent, it got overwhelmed. We want a plank in the program of recovery that people with this sense can stand on. Yeah. Instead of trying to find it somewhere else, it can be put in the 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 tent of AA is huge. Yes. Yes. So, uh, yeah, I feel like you can really have a quality of relief that isn't framed with an anxiety it's not going to ever last. Yes? You know what I mean? Just really just relief. Unabashed relief. Yeah. Yeah. Instead of tithing to the God of the head, you know, it's, hoping that it will stop that big foot from stepping on you that you're fearing constantly. Jesus, how do you want to live under that big foot? Fuck. Yeah. Yeah. So there is a solution. It's important, I feel, to be clear about the problem and its nature. And here we go. We have a way of life, and it corrected the action figure sufficiently that I don't, uh, most of the time when I was out there, my behavior was like a dog whistle to people in uniform. It was just amazing how much shit happened. Really. I mean, uh, whatever was directing that radio beam has been taken over and it's being directed in a different way. Yeah. 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 It's pretty good. All right. So anybody? Oh, we got
Yeah,
Nitesh.
Mitish has his hand up.
All right.
That's your hand.
Oh, thanks, Vlad, for the reading earlier. And thank you, Paul, for all your wisdom. When I first came into recovery, I did exactly what you did. I separated self from us. And I absolutely love your point of view when it comes down to thinking that self did all of those things, those resentments and all of that kind of stuff, because that for me was the easiest thing to do. Question I've got is, in your experience, what would be the best way to make someone think to separate self from us? So how would I go about doing it?
I would the best way would be giving up that idea of doing it to another. That would be the best way. Attempting to do it usually gets met with resistance. Yes. Yeah. So just
let them be.
let things be as they seem to be, and without your putting your 2 cents in, it may go better than you imagine. Yeah. So yes. Yeah.
Fair enough.
You and I can't save anybody. A grace can come through us to others, or from others to us, but neither of them are the source of the water. Yes. So yeah. Yeah. So the best thing is I don't I feel for what's going on, and most of the time I don't present anything. Yeah. I just tell the person, hey, I see that they're up the ass of self. I say you should do some service, yeah, and get a commitment so that you can get a flavor of what it's like to be out of self, yeah. And then you'll be more interested maybe in the nature of self. Yes, yeah. But without a sense of what it could be like, it's going to be interpreted from the self. Yeah, doesn't work. But service does. Service will give you a sense of being out of self. And yeah, and when every time I would seemingly, because you've been living in a pretty much not constant, but a strong condition of being up the ass of self. So when I would do service, and the things that really would do it were hospital and institution meetings, where we live, where you go into a place that the people that are in there can't get out to go to a meeting, like a detox or something. And when after 6 months of being sober, I could get a commitment, and I did. I had a couple of commitments, and they were like once a month meetings. Yep. And let's say I was just completely insane for a week, and then and just thinking myself into more trouble. Actually, I wasn't acting out, so this was great. And then I would go to the meeting, and the most it would take would be 10 minutes, and I would be out of the ass of self. Yeah, just by being in that service situation. It would just pull me out. Yeah. And then I learned a lot, because that which I was simmering over for weeks disappeared instantaneously. So I started going, how true can it be if it disappeared so fucking quickly? I mean, I completely forgot it when I was in the meeting. So I said, man, well, maybe its nature is to be forgettable, literally. And I'm in an addiction of remembering it. Yeah, so let's see. So truth started breaking on this shore, and my head was getting blown away, like every day, literally. Uh, how even the body has changed us. You have eyes that are in the front, but you see only the past. Yeah, you see only the past. There's just rethinking, refeeling, rehashing. Yeah. But you think you're seeing into the future, but you're just being projecting a past there. You don't know that, do you? I'm telling you. We think, oh, these were here so I can see my way. No. These eyes in us on a lot of levels cannot be trusted. Yeah. 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 So just buckle up, and then just don't get up, don't leave the operating table, don't get up, don't play doctor, and things are going to work out. Yeah. And obviously don't drink or use no matter what for this hour or this day. And the progress isn't based on you. You're what's going to be affected by the progress, and you are going to observe the progress, but you're not doing the progress. Something is doing what you couldn't do for yourself, which is to progress. You think just because you're living into the next months, that's not progressing. Some of us are frozen in old ideas. You're doing the same old, same old. Every 10 years thing, nothing's really changed. Yeah. It just goes on and on. In this case, something is going to progress. And for it to progress to the point where you can enjoy peace of mind is fucking unbelievable, literally. Now, you can't, there's no like mile markers or to see the importance of it, but it is so fucking important to be returned to the possibility of being at peace. Yes? Because most people are resting in the head and it's agitated. It's forever agitated. Yeah? We get dropped in before the head and there's peace there. You're going to be hyperventilating, holding your breath, staring at one thing to try to get the head agitated. It's fucking very, very difficult. But if you're not the head, there's peace underneath there. Yeah. There's so much on offer, but we need to get clear about the exact nature of the wrong. Yeah. I feel I had no idea what was available until this started to occur. It gave me a whole new way of seeing stuff. And because the only way I could think about being able to enjoy peace of mind was as that agitated idea, which was going to be fucking impossible. Yeah. Once I got clear, I'm not that, these things became more readily available. And over time, you need do nothing, literally. It's available. It's not like I have to go pull out the keys and pick which one. The door's open, wide fucking open. It's the mental requirements that are keeping you paused where there's tons of possibilities on offer. Yeah. Not climbing a huge mountain, though that may occur, but just sitting and being able to have your attention be so freed up that if a woodpecker comes and you hear it, you can go there instead of you absorbed with the head theater. Yeah. Yeah, you're available now. And you've always been available. What made what was happening was what you were available to. And that is the correction of recovery. We have been we have had great faith in finite self and it has failed us. And it's not personal. It's a failed system. Yes. And now that faith, that power that we represent has been moved by the grace of something and put into the infinite. Yeah. And now when there's a siren going down my street, I don't fucking duck. Yes. I don't. It's, yeah. Yes. So, yeah. First, we got to get over the physical hurdles, the constant drinking and using. Yes, we have to. That's the requirement here. If you're a real alcoholic and you take us probably a spiritual vow, you're gonna probably be a drunk fucking monk down the road. Yeah. It becomes the dominant thing here. It's a big weather front, untreated alcoholism. It really demands an attention if you cross the line. I don't know if you have, but I do know I did. Yes. So, yeah, it was essential that I had found a way of life that I would stay sober a day at a time. Essential, incredible. Yeah. But now it has nothing to do with drinking or using. Absolutely nothing. I don't have any interest in it. It could be tomorrow, but really the underlying causes and conditions are really what's going on. Yeah, because I'm not drinking or using. So uh, we need guides to guide us because a lot of us were not getting a clarity about the exact nature wrong is not being overally presented. Yes. You're always at the hook of it. And of course, they're afraid that you're going to run with the, oh, well, if I didn't do it, and then, because your head is so fucking immature. But I'll tell you, that's not, that fear is not enough to squelch this invitation. Yeah. Of course, the head will try to use it. It tries to use everything it gets introduced to. Yeah. That's what goes on. If you're gonna, if it's gonna use it, you better believe it's gonna try it. I have great faith in the spirit that you'll grow out of that adolescence, yeah, and you'll grow into the awakeness of as a result of the 11 steps. Yes. So I have great faith in that. I have much more faith in the solution than the problem. Much more. Much more. The problem is so determined by you, and the solution isn't. Yeah. The problem needs you completely, but the solution doesn't. Yeah. Yeah. So, yep. All right. Anyone else? Yeah. Nice. Thank you. Yes. I wanted to share with a lot of people, and I was given platforms to do it. Yeah. And I still have that, but I don't have the way I'd want to express has been dropped. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. If I see somebody, I'd really just say, let's go get you a pair of shoes at the thrift store. Yeah. Yeah. You drop him off and he walks into some bushes. Let's get a sleeping bag. Yeah. You can go to thrift stores, get them for $6. Give, give the guy a sleeping bag. Yeah. Yeah. The idea of, hey, there's no self is pointless. It's not, it doesn't serve the moment. Yeah. Yeah. And after entertaining this idea, if there's any drive to be right, that's been dismissed. You don't care really. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Yeah. Usually what happens is what you are speaks louder than what you'll say anyway. Yeah. Yeah. And we're really more of a proclamation. We're not like a draft or, you know what I mean? Yeah. You just proclaim you found something, and if people want to hear it, great. If they don't, great. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anyone else? No? Okay. Well, we'll start saying goodbye. Another lovely meeting. Yeah. It always delivers the goods. At least here. I, there's one sense of every moment, which is the presence. And that becomes your overriding moment, is presence. Yeah. And I've come to thousands of these Zooms, and the underlying presence is exactly the same. Just, yeah. All right. So, Mitesh, thank you, bro. Nice to see you. Shannon, as always. Yeah. Sean, NorCal. Got a little rain in NorCal today. Chris B, nice to see you, bro. We got John from Glastonbury. Joseph, a friend in France. I don't know what this is. It's TYMYP something, but nice to see you. Vlad, as always, good job, Vlad. Yeah. Rick Rowe, Toronto. Danny, nice to see you, Danny. Greg, as always. Yeah. Matt in Chicago. Yeah, just keep looking up, Matt. Gaze away. Miak, nice to see you. Jess, got a nice big thing of tea or coffee? Yeah? Yeah. Wow. Gary, there he is. Gary's looking at the geese fly over his farm. Yes? Can hear them. I heard them last night. They're active. They're taking off. Denise H. Nice to see you, Denise. Yeah. Rico Cruz, as always. Walter, brother from another mother. Yeah. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be with you all. You know, that loving presence expressing itself through our group conscience. Yeah. Everyone did a great job. All right, I'll see you guys. We'll be here Saturday. And if you find this helpful, I think they're all in YouTube, yeah? Go to YouTube or Paul Hedderman or Zen Bitch Slap. Yeah, and basically you listen something from 2012, it sounds very familiar to the 2025. Usually, yeah, because I feel it's pointless if you don't see this point, truly. I do. So